Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I have the new Natasha Denona Golden Palette. Okay, I am beyond delighted. Here's what's interesting. For years, I have been following the brand's releases, and there have been so many palettes in this size, or even the larger ones that were like the big full-size pans that were $129 a piece. And I was like, I don't know. They look pretty. Like, I wanted the Biba palette, but I never did it. I wanted the original gold palette, but I never got it. I wanted the My Dream palette, but I was like, I don't know. Even the bronze palette was calling to me, and I was like, I have those warm tones other places. But last summer, when the brand released the I Need a Nude, I had to have. And when I bought it, I fell in love with it. And then around the holidays, I found the Glam palette on sale, and I was like, can't help myself, needs must have. And so this is a really wonderful addition to those really neutral palettes, the slightly cooler ones from the I Need a Nude and the Glam, and definitely something warmer. I feel like bronze would be a little too warm for my personal taste at this moment, but I'm sure it's perfect. Now here's what's interesting. I wanted to get the original gold palette when it came out, but you know what kept me from getting it? I would have paid the price for it, but it was all of those kind of bluey green shades. I'm just gonna, oh, this was so satisfying. It was all of those bluey green shades, and I was like, I don't know, maybe not. And I was worried that having shades that I normally don't reach for was going to completely ruin the experience for me. So when I heard that this is basically the gold palette reimagined in a smaller size, in the midi size, and then on top of that, those kind of bluey teal shades got swapped out for more neutrals, I was like, you read my mind. Now, I know some people are probably really gonna miss those blues, but as somebody who is afraid of bright, punchy, bold, super saturated colors, and this brand does not play when it comes to saturation and pigment. All right, so I'm gonna start building a look today. We're gonna swatch the whole palette as well, but I always feel like these formulas do better for me when I use natural bristle brushes. I'm gonna start with this matte down here. This one's called Flesh, and I feel like it's gonna be just a little bit darker than my natural eye shade. Skin tone, I should say, because my eyes are much darker, brown. You know what's interesting to me is that I have read and I have seen, and I've noticed even in my kids, the trend of eyeshadow is dead. You know, the eye palette is gone. And I'm like, but is it? And I feel like it's maybe for those of us who love eyeshadow, will eyeshadow ever die? No. Just like if lipstick ever goes out, your girl's still buying lipstick, okay? That is just the sort of person that I am. But I think that it's really, really funny. But my kids still like, oh mom, you got the new palette? Can I play with it? Sure. But they're gonna use 1 or 2 shades, and I'm gonna be like 7 or 8. What else can I slather on? I'm so excited to play with this today. All right, so I feel like I've got a really good base here. I'm gonna take a slightly smaller brush, pick up that same shade, and just kind of run it right underneath the lash line here. One thing that's great about beauty trends is everything always comes back around, you know? I heard that, who was it? It was Kevin J. Bennett who was talking about trends when I was watching the Beautiful and Bothered podcast several weeks ago, talking about how that grungy 90s makeup is coming back in trend and might be here in another year, year and a half. I'm like, yes! I love that. That was my college days. And I was like, ooh, I get to look like a more mature, you know, I'm all confident sort of person wearing my fun grungy makeup. Yeah. I'm going to move into something just a little bit darker. I'm going to take this shade here in Teak. It's just a little bit darker. I'm going to take it on that same brush, and I'm going to keep it a little bit lower. I'm not going to take it as high as the other one. And I'm just going to kind of darken up here, this portion of the lid. I'm hoping that this look doesn't get to be too heavy and too, oh, like that. That just happened, and I was like watching it, and I'm like, too much. So I flipped the brush over to the side that doesn't have anything on it, and I'm using this to kind of buff and blend it out. And if I need more pigment on this side to make a match, I'll go back to the side that I picked up the powder with. But you know, a natural bristle brush along with these matte formulas, no joke. You get all the pigment you could possibly want. But I really like how these, the formula is different. If you're thinking like an Anastasia Beverly Hills, they're very soft, and you dip into them and you instantly have this kick up in the pan. And then when you're applying it to the eye and you're doing this, it kind of like wafts away or leaves a little bit underneath the eye. And I have not seen, oh, there's something here that is not eyeshadow that is on my face, but I don't see any powder underneath the eyes, which I think is really important. So I do like to, first of all, I always do my base first and then my eyes. Very rarely do I do it the other way around. But I feel like it's really important when I'm trying something for the first time to be able to let you know, is there fallout? Is it a problem? Is it easy to manage? Or is it kind of like, do your eyes first? The darkest shade in here is called Log. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that on kind of like a flat shader brush. If you're curious, this is the R110 from What's Up Beauty. And I'm just going to place this right here in the outer corner. I learned a while ago that there are, I'll come back and blend that, don't worry. There are certain ways for me to do my eyes that will make me look kind of cross-eyed or like something's wrong. And having a lot of the darkness centered over the outer third of the lid is the best sort of look for me, because it does bring dimension to the eye and I can kind of lift it up this way. But I find that if I end up you know, trying to do a halo eye where I have darkness in the middle, my eyes look too close together, other weird things start to happen. So I always stick with my tried and true placement when it comes to, you know, shades like this. If I'm using multiple shades, placement for eyeshadows will be different based on your eye shape, based on, you know, whether your eyes are close set or wide set, whether you have small eyes or large eyes, and that's different for all of us. I do really, really like that, you know, the darkest dark is this brown here and the lightest is this like really metallic one. There's this up here, but nothing here is like, you remember the Xenon palette? It was like really beautiful, but grays and blacks and whites and kind of shifty shades, but it was all basically black and white, looked like a checkerboard. And I'm so glad that this is not too dark and it's not too light, which is one of my favorite things about both the Glam and the I Need a Nude. This all matte look is already just killing. I can't wait to add some sparkle in. These make me so happy. I just want to, they're delicious. They're delicious. Here are all the metallics. What's interesting is these all, I'm sure the swatches will be different, but they look very similar. These guys here, we have definitely some really bright yellow golds, some more kind of like, I don't know, darker bronzes. I'm going to go into this shade right here. This one's called Nubia, and I'm going to tap this kind of like right on the center of the lid. Oh, it's so pretty. My heart is so happy. This darkest metallic here is called Veris. I'm going to pick some of that up on this little packing brush. I'm going to hit that right here on the outside corner to intensify the dark shade in Log that I already had there. I'm not done yet, but just the gold on my eyes, I feel like a gilded beauty. I feel like someone dipped me in gold and I am all the better for it. Oh, I am so excited. I definitely want something on the lower lash line. This shade in the bottom corner here, well, for holding it like this, it's the bottom corner over here. This one's called Alchemist. And I am going to pick that up and hit just kind of like the center of my lower lash with this, because I love a little sparkle, but I don't want too much there. I'm going to use this shade here called Kava, like right in the inner corner, just lightly tapping it on. I don't want too much. It's like a sparkly top coat. Oh, it's so pretty. And then this white shade here, this one's called Aura. I want to hit like right here. Oh, wow. In the middle of the eye. It brings a different level of light to the center of the lid. I'm also going to pick up that lightest shade in Aura and hit the inner corner. Wow. I feel giddy. I always get this way when I'm trying something for the first time and it's just hitting on every level. Oh, this is so pretty. Now, remember, I'm not a pro makeup artist. I'm your neighborhood enthusiast, makeup enthusiast. That's me, your friendly neighborhood makeup lady. That's who I am. So I'm sure that a pro artist like Natasha or somebody else could make this into something even more imaginative and even more glorious. But for me, these warm golden tones are just perfect without being too warm. I feel like the bronze, although it's really pretty, would be a little warmer than I would want. But I like that we have some warmth here, especially since, you know, it's summer. It's summer. I love that. And I feel like this is going to be something I'm going to be reaching for a lot. It doesn't mean that me and those other two palettes, the Glam and the I Need a Nude, aren't going to be in heavy rotation, because I do love those a lot. But this is exactly what I expected. A beautiful eyeshadow palette, a new one, and exactly what I would want from something that's called the Golden Palette, because it was all of those darker, really vampier shades in the gold palette that kept me from buying it, because I would have spent the $120 something on it. And I do appreciate this price point a lot more. But then on top of that, the other thing that I like is that this is, although it is a little bit less expensive, it has the colors that I want, like the darker browns. And I know that a lot of these shades, probably 3/4 of them were in the original palette and other ones are new or come from other places and have been plopped in here. I'm totally fine with that. But this is the darkest and this is the lightest, and there's everything else in the middle. I don't think I could be happier. And I know I'm going to get some beautiful one and done looks from this, like using one shimmer on the lid and out the door, or maybe like 2 shadow looks where I've got a matte and a shimmer. I know I'm not always going to end up with this many shades on my eyes, because I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different shades on my lids right now. I know I'm not going to do that every day, but when I want to sit down and play, oh, can she deliver? I'm going to throw on some mascara, some eyeliner, finish touching up the face, and I'll be right back. Okay, I almost don't have words at how much I love this. It's been a long time since I've been excited about anything at all that's kind of like warm eyeshadow sorts of stuff. I do a lot of like cooler looks because that's really kind of where my heart is right now. But this is so pretty. This is so pretty. There's a lot of makeup that I'm wearing that I didn't show you. I'm going to link everything in the description box down below. Just keep in mind they're affiliate links. You can use them, you cannot use them, totally up to you. If you do use them, it does give me a small commission, which helps me be able to, you know, grab new things and try them out. And then you can go, yeah, that's for me, or no, I see how you used it and that's not what I need. Just to let you know, the swatches are going to be going this direction across the top of my hand, second row, and they're swatched in order. So here is the top row. This one here is a kind of like a cream to powder, as is this one here. This shade is super sparkly, as is this one. I like this bottom row. This is the one I have in the outer corner, the one I have in the inner corner. This is one I used along that outer bit. Man, these are such beautiful shades. And the last 5, look at these. These are stunning. This is the one I have on my lower lash line, kind of in the middle, but look at how vibrant these shades are. These are stunning. And I feel like these tend to be a little bit more neutral. These are a little bit stronger, and if you're using these guys here, you're really going for a really intense, purposeful look. So there we go. These are the shades. I couldn't be more delighted. I could not be more delighted. I feel like for me, these performed the way I expected them to. They look so beautiful on the eye. I always find that Natasha Denona palettes work better for me when I use a natural bristle brush. But you know, if you don't have natural bristle brushes, or you are choosing to use vegan only brushes, totally fine. But sometimes if you're having problems, especially with the shimmers, just use your finger. That's what I do, and I think that's fantastic. The other thing that's great, just like all the other ones, first of all, is all gooed up. My fingers have been all over it, but it has the holes in the back where you can use something small to push the pans out. You can do that to rearrange them or to mix and match. If you want shades from another palette and mix in with this, you know, pop a couple of these out and put your perfect shades together. Or you can put them in a magnetic palette. Really, really easy to do. I'm so excited to have this. I think this is really gonna help me lean into that whole bronzed goddess, you know, golden dipped sort of summer moment all summer long. But this is also something I feel is kind of seasonless. I feel like you can do a really beautiful metallic eye for the holidays. And the nudes and the natural shades in here are going to be so perfect if you want something that's really easy. If you want to do just an all matte shade, this is a super versatile palette, but you have to ask yourself, am I interested in golds? Am I interested in kind of like some of these really, really warm? This is more of a bronze shade. This is a really deep yellow gold. And if these shades are for you, I think you would love this palette. And I'm so glad that it's not that larger $120 something price point that they used to be, where there was more product in the pan. Because with as many eyeshadow palettes as I have, I'm never going to use it all. But this, oh, she's stunning. I would love to know, are you a fan of Natasha Denona? Do you have a favorite palette? I only have those three. No, I think I have the Zendo as well. That came in a Beautylish Lucky Bag. It wasn't like a My Choice palette, but I don't really have that much from the brand because the color stories are either too pink or too green or too, you see what I'm saying? I love me a neutrals, and I really feel like this golden release is exactly what I needed. And I feel like at this point, I might be willing to keep trying things that are a little bit more colorful, a little bit outside of my norm, because I do love these formulations so much. Let me know what your favorite palette is. Did you pick up the golden? Do you have the original gold? Or you're like, nope, I'm good. Got everything I need. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.